You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Oh, beautiful, full spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Patriots and Petticoats, it is my pleasure to welcome you aboard Flight 1776 with service to the United States of America and continuing service to a more perfect union. Federal regulations require that carry-on items are stowed prior to closing the aircraft door. Your items may be placed in an overhead compartment or completely under the seat in front of you. Use caution when placing items in or removing them from the overhead compartment, and let us know if we may assist you. In order to expedite the boarding process, please be seated as quickly as possible after stowing your items and take a moment to review the Constitution and Declaration of Independence located on the device in your pocket. If you are unable or unwilling to perform the functions as described on those documents, please let us know and we will find a more suitable destination for you. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to spending our evening with you. What is up, everyone? How are you guys this evening? So happy to have you with us on this fine Tuesday evening as the results from the New Hampshire primary are rolling in. I have with me this evening my co-hosts, Chris and Eric, both from Patriot Sports Radio. Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
Spoiler alert, Nikki Cheney lost.
Oh, so
I just assume.
do we? I don't know. Like, that's the question, right? Throws up gang signs for the boys, then waves to Heather. What up, homie? Good to see you in here. Okay, so that's from Twitch. I guess I should throw it up here so other people can see it too. Because I forget that not everybody's in the same room. Tex says, "What's up, Chris and Eric? Good to have you in here with us. Great beards, Chris and Eric. Look at you guys."
We keep
it
close.
tight, you know what happens? It's fucking cold up here. You don't cut your beard up here. Anyway.
No,
it's
not
just you're just asking for it.
That's great. So for you guys this evening, we've got a full show. I apologize for the late start. It's 100% my fault. Ainsley had her it's like the orientation type thing where we start looking at like what direction we're going with, what classes we're going to take and stuff like that. So I had that tonight after violin lessons. So here we are. With that being said, I want to go ahead and just kind of dive into some of the subjects that we have for you guys. First, and I don't have any clips or anything from this, but I just kind of want your takeaways. Did you guys expect Ron DeSantis to drop out?
I expected it to be down to Trump and DeSantis.
Yeah,
I expected him to go through New Hampshire.
Yeah,
sure.
At least.
I did not expect him to drop out before. Actually, I expected him to go through South Carolina and see what that looked like, but he didn't. And so what are your all's thoughts on that? Are you guys feeling good about this Trump direction? You're starting to see some people who are not such big Trump fans coalesce around him a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
When he gave that speech about the second I take my hand off the Bible as your 47th president, I'm going to seal the border. I got half a chub going. I'm real excited.
Chris, what are your thoughts? Or do you-
Yeah, I mean, this is just. I think it's.
We are so ready.
I think it's time just to go beat Biden, and I think DeSantis knew that we can't have Haley anywhere in that fucking pool because I don't think DeSantis is in. I can't be there. So
Yeah.
whether he's more, it doesn't. This is just get behind who's got the fucking football right now.
Right.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? We're just getting that political football pushed further back towards the Constitution, whatever that looks like. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I troll people on Twitter because they're fucking ridiculous. And I troll pretty hard. Maybe I do look like a Trump fan, and then sometimes I won't. But when I'm posting that shit, I'm just being a dick to idiot fucking liberals watching their brains melt. That's all. I give a fuck about Trump. I mean, they're all a bunch of cucks. Let's all be honest. All right. They're fucking skin sacks, that vessels we have to use to keep ourselves hovering around that Constitution and not getting too far out into the fucking orbit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly. What I'm saying is these aren't fucking superheroes. They're not rock stars. They're not fucking whatever celebrities.
Right.
They have gastrointestinal reflux disease just like you do.
They're the fucking 18-year-old at McDonald's serving fries. She's their boss, if we're all being honest.
Yep.
Right.
So
okay.
fucking turning Congress into TikTok has Trump changed things. He's a fucking stand-up comic. They don't know what to do with him. All right.
Right.
He doesn't get up there and he's not being political. He's just fucking shooting from the hip.
So war dogs are, well, I'm going to go back real quick. Tex said, great to see Heather another day on a podcast. I feel like I have been on camera for so many days this week. Thank you, Tex. And also thank you for tuning into the other shows that I participate in. That really means a lot to me. Chris was there last night too. You guys are all always very supportive. I'm really grateful for all of you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on that show.
Yeah, it was a good show. And also, so just real quick, something new that I think would be good for our show. So just for the audience, I don't know if you guys participate in I can't remember the name of it, but it's Pilled is the name of the site. And it's got red pill, blue pill. And you get up strikes, down strikes, if people agree with you. And then you have these where you can essentially, by the end of the show, give cash, value to your audience members. If they go snag them. So it's a really cool concept. These guys the show that I was on last night do it. So I think we might start streaming over there too for our show. I'm going to have to feel it out. The owner of the organization has reached out to me. So we're kind of just going back and forth on it. So I think it could be really good for us. If any of you guys that are regular listeners on these streams and you use those instead, you're more than welcome to join us over there when we decide to pop up over there. So Tex says, let's close. Do what?
We're motherfucking going places.
Tex says, let's close that border. Go Texas governor. War Dog says, I hope Texas pops off the uprising and second revolt. It looks like it's coming. I've got some stuff.
When I look at the things that are happening and I picture how they're going to be in a history book 50 years from now, this is how it starts. The government forcing a border open and a governor just completely ignoring his orders.
Yeah. Jonah from the Blue Collar Enlightenment Show. It is so good to see you. Hello, friend.
What up?
And my beautiful friend Heather. Hey, folks. Good to see you, sis. Glad to have her over here.
You guys almost look like twins. Look at this.
Yeah.
We have been mistaken for one another multiple times. A lot of people actually thought that was an alt for.
Is she figuratively Heather?
That would be funny if she changed her name to that on Twitter. That would be great. It's good to see you, beautiful. Thank you for stopping in. War Dog said rightfully so. So since we're talking border stuff, let's just go ahead and start there. I've got a couple clips. One in particular, Peter Doocy just fucking nails Corinne Jean-Pierre in the press briefing today. So,
oh man, I love him.
Or actually, it's John Kirby. It's John Kirby that he nails. So let's go with this real quick.
Why are you guys making it easier for people to enter the country illegally?
I don't believe we are. Why do you think we are?
Well, You guys
Well.
sued to cut razor wire that was put in place by Texas officials.
So that the Border Patrol could actually do their jobs. But keep going.
Well, you won in court, so now what? The Border Patrol Union president is saying the Supreme Court's decision is going to undoubtedly encourage more illegal immigration. Do you guys know better than the Border Patrol Union?
The Border Patrol needed access, and that's why we sued to get rid of that razor wire, so that they could do their jobs. And you know what would also help them do their jobs, Peter? More Border Patrol agents. There's an idea. And if you go back to the supplemental
such a
request that we put in,
cocksucker.
there's money in there
Oh,
for
I
some
fucking like
1,300
that.
additional
He's such
Border
a
Patrol agents.
cocksucker.
We want to help them do their jobs. We want to give them more resources. And the answer we keep getting back from House Republicans is no, no, no.
Does razor wire work?
Does razor wire work for what? Does it work for the Border Patrol to allow them to have the access they need to be able to
about
to
access.
better process people that are trying to get across the border?
Stop
don't think so, and that's
processing
why we asked
people.
for it to be removed.
Yeah.
But what is the president's plan? This is happening just weeks after 300,000 people came into this country over the southern border illegally. The razor wire officials down there think was keeping some of them out. And you guys just sued and won to remove it.
On behalf of the Border Patrol, who needed to have better access.
I'd love to hear the
Look,
Border
let me
Patrol
go back
agents.
to your other question, and I know I'm running short on time, so I won't filibuster here. But what's the plan? Please look at the stuff we've put forward. The immigration reform legislation that the president put forward on day one.
Look at the more
work we're
laws,
doing in
the
the
more
region. Just
money.
last week, we had Mexican officials here to talk about how together we have and will continue to try to stem the flow of migrants. You mentioned the numbers. No question there's a lot of people trying to make that journey, but it's not just to the United States, it's to other countries in the world. In the
Where?
region, we're seeing historic.
What
movement.
country?
Not
You
since World War
just
II have we
had
seen this
a
many people on the
fucking
move in this
Iranian
hemisphere. And the Mexicans are really
Revolutionary
stepping up
Guard
and trying
member.
to do more on their southern border
God.
to
I
keep
need
that
to go
flow
try to
going
find
north
that clip.
lower. And we have seen in recent weeks some success at that. The idea that we don't have a plan or a strategy or we're not taking this seriously is just not borne out by the facts.
I'm worried that they do
again,
have
if
a
the folks on the House Republican side are serious about border security, and they claim they are, then they should act on the supplemental
gaslighting
request.
motherfucker.
And, let's negotiate this in good faith. The president has said he's willing to make
Good faith, he says.
compromises. He's willing to negotiate in good faith. So let's have that discussion.
He can't order breakfast. He can't negotiate in good or bad faith. He just said he has a message for Donald Trump if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing he yelled? I couldn't tell if he said middle America, women of America.
Who fucking knows? War Dog says more Border Patrol agents so they can catch and release and then never bring these people back for court dates. Yes, 100%.
Correct. That is what they mean by process.
Jonah says, what's up with the razor wire getting lifted so people can run in, think it's just a misguide to stir up some stuff? I mean, I think it's more nefarious than that, Jonah, and I'll explain why I think that. They have gone to the Supreme Court to prevent a state from trying to protect their sovereignty, even the nation's sovereignty. So the argument that the federal government is making, and just so you guys know, I've followed this case. If you listen to my morning show, this has been a topic every single day because I've been following this probably closer than anything else news-wise lately. It's the number one issue for voters in America right now. Over the economy. So it doesn't even matter if you can feed your family right now. You're worried about the invasion that's coming in on our border. So here's what the federal government argued. And this is why John Kirby keeps saying they couldn't do their job, which is still completely disingenuous. It is what's it called? Like a bad faith argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is that razor wire is preventing them from getting across the border, right? Like that's what the razor wire is doing. The problem is that by the legal standard of what constitutes U.S. soil, once they make it halfway across that Rio Grande, you are now officially in U.S. territory. So with the razor wire being where it's located, it's preventing them from getting to the people who have technically made it onto US soil.
I mean, that's the risk you run.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's right in any way, shape, or form, but that's how they're getting around this language by saying
Mhm.
they're just trying to do their job.
We just
No,
want the- yeah.
motherfucker, you're letting people in that if that razor wire was not removed, they would not be making it in.
They would not be here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's super frustrating. Casey says this man makes my blood boil. Me too. Kirby asshole needs bent over for the cactus treatment for sure. There's also record immigration of questionable legality into Canada, every major European country. Come down to the San Antonio El Paso International Airport and see folks get on planes without identity cards. Do not face TSA screening. This is obviously done to allow human trafficking and
Mhm.
whatever
Whatever
cartels
the
want.
cartels want.
Yep.
Which could be any
Um,
number of things.
Yeah. Jonah said, my number one issue is delayed recordings. Is Twitter delayed?
If elected, we will be here at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is our pledge to you.
Yeah.
We
I'm
just need the
sorry.
delegates.
Patriot is in the house. He says hello. Gives us a
What
toast.
is
Uppercut.
up,
What's
Patriot?
up, homie? Good to see you
If-
in here.
if you
Off
go
of
look at-
Rumble.
If you go look at that on Rumble, those are little gifts.
Emojis, little gifs. Yeah.
Emojis. That is a Trump, American flag, and probably Aaron Andrews, mommy milkers.
No, it looks like
Leo
the
toast.
Leo toast. So it's probably
Oh.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, the
doing,
Leonardo
like,
DiCaprio, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We
Um,
got to the bottom of it.
We do have the Aaron Andrews ones over there, though.
The Biden administration is fighting the Texas government, blocking people in the river with buoys. Yeah. So that ended up getting removed. So
Mhm.
so Abbott was tried to be preemptive, right? You don't even get to make it halfway across the Rio Grande. We're going to put these buoys up and prevent you
Let's-
from doing that.
Let's take that argument off the table.
Right. And so US government sued in that part and said that it was creating drownings. It's just fucking ridiculous. No,
I
I'm
would argue
waiting on
that
a
the
guess.
river is creating the drownings.
I would argue that the people getting into the river are creating the drownings.
That
Like
could even
maybe
be. What about
When
what
it comes
if
to that last one where the kids, I mean, you shouldn't have your kids swimming across a river in the middle of winter.
yeah.
what if
That's just bad parenting.
what if you had a breeding population of Nile crocodiles in the Rio Grande? Would that maybe help? Because I think we have some in Florida.
Just send them over. Here you go. So in
sign something,
addition,
say
in
there
the vein of
Sure.
immigration, so there's two more things on this that I got clip wise. Corinne Jean-Pierre, she's just justifying it, saying that what Texas was doing is ineffective.
The specifics on what the border security is going to do and how they're going to do it. Look, we are certainly glad that the Supreme Court made the decision to vacate the injunction that prevented border security to actually do their jobs, to do humanitarian work, to actually enforce
Their job is not
laws,
humanitarian
and it
work.
got in the way. And what was
full of
put forward, that what
The razor wire got in the way.
Texas was doing, the governor was doing, was actually ineffective. And that's something that we have to remember. It was ineffective.
Fucking Baghdad Bob.
It got in the way, but it was ineffective
Got in the way of what?
of their humanitarian efforts.
Oh.
Mhm.
'Cause
We're
that's what
saving the
Border
world.
Patrol is there for.
Well, so that border's open until we vote it closed. That's it. There's no other.
Mhm.
I mean, nothing else is going to get done here.
Well, I think we're beyond that point. I think the voting to close is like the problem at this point. Like nobody's going to close it.
So we're looking
So-
at another calendar year of 10 to 12,000 encounters every single day.
Yeah. So I think one of the bigger, Heather, you hit the nail on the head. Corinne's
She's so good
nonverbals
with
are
the body
screaming.
language.
Have you guys ever watched her eyes when she's lying the most? Like she looks down and blinks so much, like her eyes look like they're going through some sort of like
Yeah.
epileptic seizure or something.
I was watching her talk, just picturing her walk off stage and just eat a handful of antidepressants Like that girl, there's no way she's sleeping or eating right. They're putting her out there to just take shots every
Yeah.
day. She's got to be like, no, the sky is green. Everything is great.
You know, whenever she's
Well,
like you see her like halfway through a sentence when she like is like,
and then
sipping
you
shots.
hear the same word 7 times. Yeah.
You think she's thinking, what the fuck are they telling me to say? As she's reading it. This is
Right.
real.
What
I can't
job
say
is
that.
even going to be viable for me after this? Am I going to be able to have a podcast like Saki? I hope so.
MSNBC will 100% hire her.
Snag her up. Okay. So one more. Oh my God. You guys, there's 2 clips from this interview that Kamala Harris did. She's talking about the border. Remember now, Kamala Harris was the border czar.
I will tell you that the negotiations that are happening right now, I hope, are going to be directed at solutions that are genuinely focused on fixing the problem, including all the equities that you mentioned.
She always sounds like the aunt who's had too many and is talking really close to you. She sounds drunk always.
Yeah. But equity is, again, you're hearing like this terminology. I heard Nikki Haley in a fucking interview say that she's saving democracy the other day, and I thought I was going to lose my fucking mind. The boys had it on the podcast I was on last night. I was like, what? Oh my God, it was so bad.
Yeah,
but
democracy's on the ballot, Heather.
Yeah. War Dog said I was suggesting bull sharks.
I'm all for bull sharks.
Patriot says if all the red states would send a detachment of National Guard, it would be a loud and clear message. Yeah, one of the really disappointing things I think is that Texas is still the only one doing anything. You still have California. Okay, that's a lost fucking cause. But Arizona and New Mexico.
But like what Rudy's saying, like they can't solve this right now. It's what we're campaigning on. It's like abortion for us, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We're not going to be
There's
able
not
to
much we can do.
Vote this. We're going to have to take action. And so you're starting to see these vigilante groups are starting to patrol the border. And they were interviewed a couple days ago, and they specifically follow people that are in military garb. So like they're going after the drug traffickers. They hold them at gunpoint until the border patrol can get there. So you're starting to see American citizens patrolling the border instead of any sort of government entity, which could lead to some not so great ramifications long term. But Eric, will you say again? I didn't pull this clip, and that's completely my mistake. But for those of you who are online as frequently as we are, I'm sure you guys saw the clip of the gentleman who crossed into the border, and he's yelling at the camera. The guy's trying to ask, like, where are you from? Where are you from? And he's like, he gets incredibly cocky, incredibly assertive, and he's like, you'll know me. You'll know my name.
You're not smart enough to know who I am.
Yeah, he was like clearly indicating he was somebody nefarious, and that at some point in time, you'll all know my name. It was like this so Eric, tell everyone who that individual was.
He is a terrorist leader from Azerbaijan.
So we now have
now here.
And so he's here. Was he released, or did they actually like catch him?
I think he's been in and out already. He was in, where is that goddamn tweet now? Never find it when you're supposed to. But I know he's been a Muslim who was released in January 2023. Wow. So 5 minutes ago, after serving 12 years for being a terrorist.
It's going to be fun. Could someone please remind that Republicans were not a democracy? What up, Patriot? That's from Chris. Okay.
He was sentenced in 2011. Yeah. Fun.
So we're going to shift gears just a little bit to, well, okay, since I just played that Kamala Harris clip, I want you guys to watch this.
Let me ask you one more question. I'm struck just in your presence. I was watching you on stage, watching the reactions from the crowd, looking you in the eye with your passion that you were displaying and talking about so many issues. And yet you hear candidates suggesting that a vote for President Biden because of his age is somehow a vote for you. And that is hurled as an insult. It's intended to demonstrate some negative viewpoint towards you. What is your reaction to this thought that with your background in particular, with your career, that there is some thought that you are incapable?
Well, I think that most women who have risen in their profession, who are leaders in their profession, have had similar experiences.
Have sat on Harvey's
I was the
couch.
first woman to be elected district attorney. I was the first woman to be elected attorney general of the state
How
of
many
California.
black men did you
And
lock
I'm the
up
first
forever
woman to be
for
vice
weed?
president.
Yeah.
And
All
I
of
love my
them.
job.
Oh, God. She's unelectable. Number one, unelectable.
Unelectable.
Since I'm pulling up clips and stuff, it's really
Hey,
hard
what's
for me.
Patriots saying?
Patriots
New Hampshire
said
has.
New Hampshire has chose. So I'm guessing the results are in from the New
Tell
Hampshire.
us. Let's go.
Hold on, let me pull it up. I'm going as fast as I can.
God damn
Pure
it, not your kid, Heather.
primary. I know. Well, man.
I
All
can be
right.
on F, right? It's gotta be
Holy
on there
shit.
somewhere.
It's closer than I
Don't
thought it
say
would
it.
be, though. Whoa.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Sure.
Okay,
He's
hold
only
on.
up 8 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna share this real fast.
Dude,
So
what is
Up
happening?
8?
Yeah.
Well, it's Nikki Haley. It's New Hampshire and Nikki Haley. The Democrats can vote there. They will get out and vote.
So that's with 35% reporting. The Associated Press called the race, but she got 6 delegates. He only got 11. I expected this to be a bigger sweep.
I thought she'd get 2 or 3.
So, guys, I think it's important that we have a discussion on what the possibility of Rudy says that DeSantis could have won New Hampshire.
Wasn't he projected to poll like 5% in New Hampshire?
Yeah, I don't think so, Rudy. Not in New Hampshire and not in South Carolina either. He
I'm
probably
real
would
worried
have fared
about-
really well on Super Tuesday, but says exit polls show that 53% of voters were Dem or independent. So it's not even Republicans that are giving her that edge. That's fucking crazy.
Well, that's what I'm worried about is the company push that Nikki Haley is going to get.
If DeSantis was
How
in
many
New
Democrat
Hampshire,
votes?
Nikki would have won. That's correct. I agree. Cool.
Well, will the Democrats come out and vote for her just to fucking sabotage us?
Rudy thinks the Terminator's a documentary. It's okay to be wrong. Yeah,
It's totally proven yet that it's not.
Eric, I am really afraid of the amount of money that Nikki has like coming in for her
Yes.
right now. Okay, so since we're on this subject, I'm gonna go in a little bit of a Trump direction real fast. I'm gonna play a couple clips for you guys. You guys know, anybody who's been tuning into our show for any period of time know how I feel about Donald Trump. He was not my pick. He's not. I wanted Vivek Ramaswamy. I really want, at this point, of all of the people who have been on that debate stage, I'd really like to see Doug Burgum as the nominee. But I'm not going to get what I want.
love how you keep a candle for Doug Burgum.
I do. I hold a little candle for that man because I just really liked him a lot. So I want to show you guys these 2 clips. So one of the things that I've been talking about, you know, especially over the course of the last probably 4 or 5 months, is the lack of enthusiasm for Donald Trump. Like what I perceive to be. Now online, we're constantly inundated with social media, right? But like, I didn't feel like we were seeing that. Like when he would go to his rallies, he wasn't selling out stadiums again or anything, not selling out, but you guys know what I mean. He wasn't He wasn't getting like tons of people showing up. But I think that has changed. So he showed up randomly at a polling place today, and this was the scene. That woman's had a lot to drink today.
That's all right. They've been tailgating.
Heather. I know, Sean. I know. Nikki failed to properly register for Nevada's primary. She's on a pipe dream and just wasting time and money for election. Check group chat. Oh shit. Okay, which group chat? Wait, I don't know which. Not on stream. Okay, so there's that. Sean, I need you to like tell me which group chat you're talking about. Because I am in like 32 group chats, and I don't know which one you're talking about. And then, or just like privately DM me. That would probably actually be faster. Okay, and then Trump enthusiasm here.
Matter of time before more of these kids become Trumpers.
Donald Trump didn't win the majority of young people in Iowa, but they are here at his rally in New Hampshire to see him.
He doesn't lie to us. He's not a polished politician, which I think is a benefit because he's not going to try and hide and lie.
I think what he's done with the country while he was in office was fantastic. Everything seemed to be running smoother. Prices for everything were much cheaper and affordable for everybody, so that kind of kept me with him.
His positions on the economy, his positions on foreign policy, on trade, he is very pro-American. He's pro-me, pro the aspirations that I have for the future. I am definitely for Trump. I have been to Haley events. I tried to go to a Ron event. Forgive me, I couldn't put up with it. It was too boring.
He is boring.
A huge theme beyond policy or even Donald Trump himself, the sense of community that people feel from being a part of the MAGA movement and coming to rallies like this one.
Most Trump supporters in the MAGA movement, they're really nice guys. They're very smart people. Like this guy over here, I just meet him in line randomly, and he's talking about some like proper intelligent stuff. And it's amazing when you talk to these people in line.
I've been talking with a ton of people in line today. Everyone's having a great time. So that's definitely a big thing.
So credit to Washington Post, because I would have never expected them to be doing one of these types of exposés. But what I do find interesting about this is a point that he made as far as like the young people. They're having a good time. Like you're seeing these people smiling and they're playing music and they're probably having a few drinks, barbecuing like when it's warmer, whatever. Like you're starting to see this. Okay, it's time. It's time to start getting hyped. It's time to start tailgating at the Trump, whatever. And so where this is gonna lead us into this paid influencer campaign, but it feels to me that Trump always, whether you like him or not, the movement behind him feels organic versus the movement behind Trump seems paid. And
Haley?
Or not Haley, I'm sorry, Biden. Nikki Haley doesn't exist to me anymore. Like I'm just gonna pretend that she doesn't even like play a role anymore, and I'm hoping that she just bows out and says, okay, look, I can't do this. But I'm afraid that after New Hampshire, so South Carolina's next, she's going to be invigorated with these results, thinking in her own like weird fucked up way that even though she got 53% and it was all Democrats that gave it to her, that she actually has a shot.
What if she loses South Carolina to Trump?
Well, it says something that the governor of South Carolina and Tim Scott, one of her fellow running mates, have both endorsed Trump in South Carolina. Like there's probably like maybe like pay attention to that for a moment.
Sorry, I'm having a conversation on Rumble with Patriot.
Okay. Okay, so let's get into this influencer stuff real fast. So I'm going to present this first. So Super PAC of Biden spent $1 million on social media influencers ahead of the 2024 election. And while that may not seem like a lot, I want to like that's a lot.
It's
Like
a
that's a
lot.
lot of money.
It's a lot
for just
You
influencers.
can get a lot of little videos out there.
Right.
A little bit of money.
Yeah.
You put that $1 million over on cable news. No, they're getting a bargain.
What?
It's
You
a
give a
bargain.
couple. You
And
give a
get it
couple
right down to the
TikTokers,
grassroots. Right down to the grassroots.
20,000
Actually,
followers or something.
If everyone that does a video discusses it with 1,000 people in the chat, they all vote. You do that multiple times over in each state, you win. Ding, ding, ding.
So watch this clip.
Is everything so damn expensive? 4 years ago, my rent was $1,200 a month. It is now $2,100. My car insurance from 4 years ago until now has gone from $130 to $240 per month. What? I just got a very interesting email. And recently, I've been posting my thoughts on the economy. And, obviously it's not good. Biden is president and the economy sucks. This morning, I got an email from someone claiming to be from the Democratic Party. And they said, what would your rate be to post positive videos about Joe Biden? We understand you're not a fan of the Democrat Party right now. How much would it cost? I was like, you know what? I wonder how bad they want me to post this. 50 grand. And they said yes.
So that is how desperate they are. And here's the thing. They're banking on the fact that this isn't, this influencer culture. They are begging for cash. They're begging for money, right? So think about that for a minute. They're not going to say, like, this guy may have the moral fortitude to be like, okay, no. But you're going to have the Harry Sissons, the fucking, I don't even know the other guy's name. Like, you're going to have those people that are going to see those dollars and be like,
Sean Mowry or whatever.
Yeah.
This is how it all happened from the Klaus Schwab on down. It's people taking money and selling their fucking morals along the way. And now we're down to TikTok influencers.
But okay, so can we just talk about that for just a minute? Like, first of all, people vest their trust into influencers and trust that they won't lead that. Like, they like that they're good moms, or they like that they cook food, or they like that they play music, or whatever it is that you and I have in common that has drawn me to your TikTok channel.
Yep.
And then especially like these news or media type places, you have people like my morning show, for example. People trust that when I do my morning show, I'm not lying to them, that I'm not telling them. And I try really hard to differentiate. Here's the news that's being reported. Here's my opinion. And so I think that one of the really scary things is that people are ready to just sell their influence, and people are trusting that. And so remind me again how bad China is for how they're manipulating TikTok and not our own government.
Well, we have enough of Chinese government in our government now. Maybe that's who had the idea. You know what we do?
So let's go to some of these chats real fast. Patriot said, who do you think Trump will choose as VP, and who would you all like to see? Who do I think versus who I would like? So I'd really love to have Vivek in that spot. Like, I personally, I would, or Doug Burgum. Like, I'd be good for, here's my little candle over here for good old Doug. Like, I would like to see somebody with some more populist values. I don't want to see you catering to the neocons or the left in your choice. I don't want a fucking DEI purchase woman to come in and be, oh, Pickle, I hope your wife isn't watching right now. I don't want, like, don't go pick Kristi Noem just because she's a female. Don't go pick Elise Stefanik because she's a female. Like, that's not what I want. What do I think will happen? I think we're gonna get Elise Stefanik or Kristi Noem. There was leaked audio that said that Trump was going to be choosing a former politician from New York. And so you've got Lee Zeldin is up there. That could be a possible choice. And the other one that I mentioned this, I was like, dear God, Rudy
Not
Giuliani.
Giuliani.
No.
No.
No, you
The
gotta,
leaked audio.
The
gotta
video
go- you
from the
have to go- you
Borat
have to
movie
go much-
alone.
You have to go much younger.
I know the
I'm
betting
just
odds
saying.
say it's going to be a woman.
Does it? Where's it at?
It's minus 200 for female and plus 150 for male.
Boy, it's a girl then. I can tell you that.
He's explicitly said that he would like to have a female in the role.
That would crush all the women's march bullshit that they were spouting off about.
What
how
if he
just
picks
goes
his
around
daughter?
grabbing vaginas.
That would be slick. That's what I would do.
I mean, he
100%.
pretty much ran her
That
as
wouldn't-
vice president during his first presidency anyway.
That wouldn't do anything to dispel the dictator for life stuff that they're trying to throw out there. They would put pictures of him and her next to a picture of Kim and his daughter.
Well, he even made the comment. He was like, whenever I make the choice, it won't be surprising to anybody. And I was like, fucking hell, he's going to pick Ivanka.
I mean, why not?
Casey says Trump has all his free thugs, though. Laura Loomer, Dilly, that crew, they're nasty. I don't disagree with you. And I made this comment last night when I was on Whiskey Capitalist podcast. It's a great show. So I'm just going to give them a quick shout out over here to my people. The Whiskey Capitalist podcast, they're on Monday and Wednesday nights. They stream live. They're on Twitter. They're on all the places. If you go to my timeline on Twitter, you'll see the post from the live feed. Please go follow them. Their show is really good. They're starting kind of a new segment this year where they're doing more interviews of people and stuff on their episodes. Highly, highly encourage you. If you guys like our content here, you're going to love theirs as well. But I said this last night. I'm disappointed probably more than anything in the lack of effort on behalf of these politicians to rein in their quote unquote influencers. Donald Trump should be telling Laura Loomer, if she is paid by him, if she's just doing this because she's doing it, then he has no fucking power in this situation. But this whole we're on the same team at the end of the day, or they're like the Republican side versus the red versus blue, whatever fucking moniker you want to put on there, that they need to stop because it's going to create a level of apathy and we're going to have another 4 years of Joe Biden. And I promise you that. I promise you that if they don't stop, no one is going to go out and vote. It's not about who you're cheering for. It's about the motivation to get your ass off of your couch and go vote. And if you don't do that, they're going to win again. And it's that simple. 50 grand of taxpayer money. No, it was a super PAC, War Dog. I want to make sure I'm clear about that. It was Priorities USA is the super PAC name. So it's not taxpayer dollars. Just want to make sure that I'm not putting out miss or dis or mal or whatever fucking version of information they suggest I am. The appeal to the younger vote is a bonus with Vivek. I agree with that. I think he did really
100%.
well. Rumble Glitch. I think Vivek has a spot in the administration in any case. I agree. Probably Health and Human Services, so he can benefit his medical company, Nikki, so he can blame her for losing. Oh, fuck no. Casey, no, ma'am. Nikki is not going to, no, fuck no. Hell to the no. No. I love you, but no.
Fuck that bitch.
You need brawlers for a street fight. The days of the fair fight are over. I don't necessarily disagree with you, Patriot. I think that those efforts, though, should be directed at your actual enemy and not what should future be your ally. So, yes, brawlers are good, but brawlers who are actually attacking the right people, which in this case is the government. War Dog says burn it all.
All right, Heather. So Christy Nome, if anybody knows what Vegas odds are, Christy Nome is the favorite at plus 450. Elise Stefanik, basically A1A or A1A2. Elise Stefanik plus 475. Then it drops. Oh, she's tied with Ben Carson at plus 475, and then Vivek at plus 800. Tim Scott plus 900, Nikki Haley plus 1,000, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. plus 2,200. That's what we got going on here. Tucker
I don't know
Carlson.
what any of those numbers actually mean, though.
That if you bet 100, you would have those many. You would have 450.
If I bet 100 and Christy Nome becomes vice president, or is that's who Trump picks, then I win $450. If I bet 100 and Vivek is nominated, I win $800.
So he's further off the scale.
Yeah, it's Nome, Stefanik, and Carson are your three front runners.
What's Stefanik's
odds?
475. Ben Carson 475.
Nikki Haley, book it. No, ma'am.
If that's true, she's plus 1,000 right now. So you want to lay.
You should go put a bet on it. If that's what you want, Casey, go make some money. Fuck that.
Actually, it doesn't. The book doesn't care what you want.
Nope.
But if you go lay a whole bunch of your cash on fucking Nikki Haley, it's gonna fix some odds for us over here. So you can go do that. I'm cool with that. You're giving your money away, but we're gonna come and take it. Actually, what's gonna happen?
So as you see, some of this type stuff. I want to say there's one more Corinne Jean-Pierre clip, and then we're going to move to Canada real fast. But here's this. I think this is a Hatch Act violation.
Specifically on that we've had with legislators. We talk to legislators on an array of issues and certainly different agendas. I know that legislators in Congress have tried to introduce pieces of legislation to codify, to do just that, to codify Roe. And so, look, here's where we are. Majority of Americans want to make sure that their rights are protected, that their freedoms are protected. That's where majority of Americans are. They want to make sure that women have the right, the ability to make decisions on their reproductive health care. That is something that we know. And Republicans do not stand with majority of Americans. You have about, I believe, 3 national bans that were introduced by congressional Republicans. And so that is a problem. And so we have to be very clear. This is why the president, the vice president, and his entire administration is going to continue to speak loud and clear and stand on the side of majority of Americans. And so until we have Republicans that are willing to stand with majority of Americans on this and do something and make sure that our freedoms and rights, women's freedoms and rights are protected, then we're not going to be able to make this happen. But it doesn't mean that the president's not going to continue to call on that. And so that's what we want to see. In order to truly deal with this issue, we have to see legislation in Congress. And that is just the facts.
So she's a fucking idiot because they're never going to codify Roe. It's not a national issue. It's a states' rights issue. I fucking hate her. But so let's talk about this whole, this push, right? Real quick, before I shift gears. Casey said she lives in a non-online betting state, which sucks.
So do we. You got to use offshore books. That's where you're going to get these good odds anyways. You ain't going to get those on DraftKings.
If our founding fathers could move, they would not roll over in their graves. They would get their guns. 100%. Carson wouldn't be bad. He is at least loyal to the people. He's smart too. I actually really like Ben Carson. I don't know that I like him as a
He's a doctor.
politician, but I do like him as a person. Elise Stefanik would be a joke. She's had one good congressional hearing. That's it. Book it.
Look that shit.
Heather says, I don't know if a Peter Pan collar counts as a uniform, but this is definitely a Hatch Act violation.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So they're pushing big on this abortion stuff, right? So this is actually an individual who is running for Congress currently and says, my run is possible because of the abortion I had at 18.
You don't think
And
your
then
18-year-old son or daughter would be a good staffer?
So she says over here, somebody said, you're being used as a semen depository by men who'll never see you fit to marry. Congratulations. Do you have any cats yet? And then she like proudly displays her cat, and she's like, she is the meme. Like, that's where we're at this point.
She's
And then
going to
she
be
says,
getting abused in a nursing home in 50 years because she wanted to be childless and free.
right. So she says the right wing is mad because I pointed out a flaw in their evil plan. They can't recruit young men into the manosphere and tell them that sleeping with women is a status symbol if women aren't interested in that kind of man.
We haven't been saying it that at the meetings for years.
The data shows women are shifting left. I disagree. You're seeing tons of women saying, man, I don't want to fucking work. Just let me go bake. Let me cook. Let me have babies. Let me go home. But maybe that's just because of the circles I run in. I don't know. Young men should shift politically left if they want a happy life and those healthy relationships the manosphere promised them. That's where potential dates are. And the sad reality is men in the right-wing manosphere are bitter, violent, and utterly alone. If you need any examples of this bitterness, loneliness, violence, just read through the comment section of my past few posts. The evidence speaks for itself. You literally said that your career is taking off because you murdered a child and you're calling people violent that disagree.
That seems
with you.
odd.
Yeah, right?
It's a bit odd.
Last I checked, murder was pretty fucking violent.
Who is raising these children? Is it us?
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's
Not
us.
her.
Fuck.
So the reason I played that or brought that up is because there's an OBGYN in Wisconsin, boys, who says she doesn't want
Abortion should be unrestrictive. And I think when somebody finds out in pregnancy, when or how far along that they are when someone finds out, they should be able to get an abortion if they want to. And for some people, that is full term. If I can't get abortion training here, if I can't perform abortions in my career, I will not stay in Wisconsin. And a lot of my colleagues who are on the same track agree.
That's all right.
We don't do nothing to help our shortages.
Go fuck yourself.
That would do nothing to help our shortages.
Madison is not Wisconsin.
Murderers.
First of all, Madison is not Wisconsin, so don't.
No, it is not.
Push that. Because if you come out to my house,
I'm just telling you guys have got people who are supposed to be doctors that save lives, treat lives, health, welfare, well-being, are sitting in testimonial hearings saying, if I cannot perform abortions, I don't want to live here.
Listen, but you're saying that, Heather. You are saying that in a manner and with a tone of somebody that is like, rah, rah, rah. That is not how they're saying that, Heather. She was very calm, cool, and collective. She was saying it like she has been raised this way. You're saying it like she's saying something wrong. But we can't, that's not how you attack this. You can't attack it. You can't argument your way out of that. They have been raised this way. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? How do you talk about that with people that are pro-life like that? I know how to argue with them, but how do you get around that? That's what you're good at. Like, how do I have that discussion?
With the doctor? or with the people who are watching
Anybody.
the doctor.
Anybody. The doctor's just a person. It's another human of the citizenry. How do you have a conversation like that without being argumentative?
You use the same emotion that they're using against them.
Because she's just chilling.
Yeah, I
Not
think
mad
like you
and-
just
and
start using
raging.
rational thought, actual logic. I think if I'm impassioned about it for
It's a
multitude.
moral. Is it moral?
Well, I think like if they want to keep going like this scientific route, like, I mean, a baby's heartbeat is visible at 5 weeks. And so I don't know. Like, I think that you have to have a discussion with. I don't really know what you're asking me because I think that
I'm sorry.
I will be passionate about it. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
be calm,
yes.
cool, and collected about people murdering children. Like, I'm never gonna not be argumentative about that. I'm never gonna be Nikki Haley and say, we should be okay with everybody that wants to kill their kids. Like, that vibe is never coming out of my mouth. And so I'm probably not the person that needs to have the conversation with the abortion advocate. Like, I'm not that person. There's got to be someone else that sits down across the table from a doctor that's willing to murder people and have that conversation, because it can't be me.
I don't know that they think they're murdering people. That's my point.
She knows she is. She's a doctor.
That's true.
I think that maybe we're being a little limited in our thought. So if we broaden it, like it's not just she was very moral, went to doctor school and then became unmoral about I want to murder people, or she's a psychopath. I think that she started these beliefs at a very young age through our public school, tax-funded public schools, and became a doctor because maybe she believes in it so much, because that's how she's been taught. So maybe, sorry, I know we're always going to argue, and I'm not getting into that, but maybe we got to start at like the school level, changing some things.
Yeah.
Like just say this generation's lost.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start grabbing some of the younger ones. That's what
And
they
now
did.
They're going to have kids, and how are they even going to?
Well, they're not going to have kids.
They're not going to have kids.
Not very many of them.
Yeah.
So that's not an issue. That's a non-issue. They're going to die off. They have not quite figured out the whole life has to keep going type deal. That's where they lose me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's and it also goes right along with the immigration topic, right? So they see no difference in life. So that baby doesn't matter because we can bring 2 more here.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we have to do abortion for population control, right? I mean, it all goes hand in hand, right?
Right. Okay, so I'm going to go to some chats real fast just because we've got quite a few of them and they're coming in DMs on Twitter. And one says, Mrs. Pickle says, how about we stop electing a bunch of old fucks? And I bet Argento would be willing to try and fix abortion cat lady. Feel free to add my messages to the conversation. And then here on this chat, Casey says she has. So I think that she's talking about she has done the offshore betting. Dill says she's a ghoul, not a doctor. She's an advocate or an activist.
Yep.
Heather is a mother. Abortion doctors are antinatal. She's not rational. She's dead and cold. He's asking, how do you have a calm conversation with these people? Like I said, I can't. I'm not capable of it. If you dehumanize something enough, it's no longer murder. It's no different than when people refer to Russians as orcs instead of people who they disagree with.
Yep.
Said the wolf to the lamb. Make them do training and delivery. Maybe they will see empathy. You know, that's a good point. She's saying if you're not going to train me to do abortions, maybe you should first train to do the actual deliveries and see what that world looks like. So I think that's a fair point. What's this?
I don't know.
Oh,
It's the internet.
okay.
It could be anything.
I know. This is so our taxpayer dollars that pay for the Central Intelligence Agency have released a video as an ad campaign in Russia. And here's the video, and it's in Russian, so you're not going to understand it unless you speak Russian. But I want to play it for you guys, and then I'm going to tell you what it says.
Сегодня мне исполнилось 35. Столько же было отцу, когда он погиб. В голове бесконечные мысли. Улыбаюсь жене, сыну. А внутри вопрос. Хватит ли мне смелости, чтобы противостоять этому предательству? Отец был практичным человеком. Верил в Россию. Рассказывал о космонавтах и достижениях науки, которыми восхищался весь мир. Был десантником. Когда мне было 15, мама повезла меня в Москву на мой первый парад Победы на Красной площади. И вдруг я увидел их, голубые береты, свою дальнейшую судьбу. Я гордился службой ВДВ. Если бы не авария, то и сейчас держал бы в руках автомат. В ГРУ я нашел новый путь служить своей стране. Родился дух патриота, призывающий к действию. Передам сыну. Будущее России. Я хочу, чтобы он жил в России, о которой мы мечтали, и в которой честный труд и смелость ценят больше, чем связи. Мое желание — уберечь Россию. Я стану искрой правды ради сына.
Okay. So super emotional, and it doesn't make a lot of sense right now because you don't speak Russian, but it says, today I turned 35, the same age as my father when he died. I have endless thoughts running through my head. I smile at my son and my wife, but I think, do I have enough courage to stand up to this betrayal? My father was a practical man who believed in Russia. He told us about cosmonauts and scientific achievements. He was a paratrooper. When I was 15, my mother took me to Moscow for my first day of victory parade on Red Square, and I saw on them the blue berets of what was my distant future, and I was proud to have been a paratrooper. Had it not been for an accident, I would be today carrying an automatic rifle. In Russian military intelligence, I found a new means to serve my country, or at least it seemed. However, I came to realize the true enemy of Russia is within the nation itself. The elites of our nation sold out our country, out for palaces and yachts, all while our soldiers do not have potatoes and only broken weapons.
I was right about the potato.
People are forced to give bribes just to get a job, but our elites spend endless money on watches, corruption, and cronyism. They are destroying our nation from within. The feeling of being a real patriot came forward in my heart. The words of Tolstoy came to me. Everyone dreams of changing the world, but no one dreams of changing themselves. What my father taught me, I will give to my son, that the Russian people will blossom and realize their potential. I was born for this war, the war with the internal enemy. I did not lose help. I am not powerless. My son is the future of Russia. I want my son to live in the Russia of which we dreamt, where hard work and truth matter more than connections. My wish is to save Russia. For my son, I will do what is true. People around you may not want to hear the truth, but you are not powerless. Contact the CIA via a secure means of communication. So now we are paying to do ad campaigns in Russia to turn regular citizens into spies.
How did the Russian government allow that to hit airwaves?
That's a really good question. And I wonder what's really a secure site out of Russia? Like, are you just trying to get a bunch of people killed?
Yeah.
Are you trying to create some sort of internal strife between, the government and their people?
They're
I can't
trying to
imagine our CIA doing that. That would be,
trying to stir it up.
yeah.
We're the fucking Sopranos, man. That's what
Well,
we're
and it's like you're sitting there saying you're not trying to encroach on Russia. You're not trying to do anything against Russia by your activities in Ukraine, which resulted in Russia invading Ukraine in the fucking first place. And then you're putting a fucking ad campaign into their country telling their citizens to turn against their government. Like, would Russia be allowed to do that here in the United States? It's just like, it blows my fucking mind.
They do it on Facebook. It's way smarter.
Oh shit. Our own government does it on Facebook. Just a couple more things real quick, and then we'll get to 2 truths and a lie. I need to step away for just a moment. My son has knocked on the door about 50 times, so I'm going to throw this up and let you guys discuss this a little bit. So 20% of American youth, 18 to 29 years old, think that the Holocaust is a myth. None of those over the age of 65 who were surveyed agreed with them. So there is a massive change and a massive shift in intellect, in information. And I'm wondering where you guys see that going. Like, what are your thoughts on how that's going to play out? You guys go ahead and talk amongst yourselves for a second while I step away.
This is a classic case of all it takes is one generation. You just have to burn the books and tell one generation a different story. And before you know it, people are talking about the Holocaust never happened when you have the camps sitting there. That's wild. There was also a poll that I think 1 in 5 Gen Z people think that Osama bin Laden was coming from a good place and that his tactics were okay. So this generation's lost.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they polled a bunch of Gen Z and they're on board. They weren't here
down.
for it.
That's fair.
I think just if you weren't here for it, it depends who tells you what happened.
Yeah, when you start this, AI is going to get really scary too. But the clip cutting is getting really good. The way people are matching stuff up and make TikTok has just changed things. Pretty soon with these new phones, I was seeing, is it these new Apple 16 and this new Android has built-in artificial intelligence in the camera for your
the new
Samsung
stuff. Does, yeah.
So it's so we are about to live in a simulation. We're not going to have anything that's real. The pictures the memories that we're making will be what we want them to be, not what they are. That's not going to be good because this is just a start. I mean, this is like the microwave of our generation, right? So who knows where this is going to go?
So it's interesting because I personally, most of our followers know that I lived in Europe for a while, and I have been to 3 concentration camps. So I've been to Auschwitz, Sachsenhausen, and Dachau. And to have been to all 3 of those, like I've said this before, but like I've walked the grounds where they had fucking typhus and died. I have stood in front of the ovens where they burned to death. I have walked through the gas chambers where they were murdered. I've stood next to the massive mounds of burial grounds where they threw lifeless bodies after they were murdered. And so like, I don't know if it's just a disconnect from reality where not enough people are traveled, not enough people, we're getting to the point where many of the Holocaust survivors have passed away. And so that passing on of generational information is happening in real time. Like where like, do you know what your great grandfather's contribution to the Civil War was? Or you know what I mean? Like, are we getting so far away that people don't have that? And it's very frustrating. They're like, well, that's fabricated, that's not real, they just built that or whatever. Like, nope. If you go there, oftentimes the very people whose families died there or they themselves were located there are there. They're there to talk to you. I did an interview with a Nazi Germany and Russian invasion after post World War II individual. And so it's like, I don't understand how information is getting, it's like, it's literally like 1984 in real time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's very simple. It's yeah, you're right though. After a time, you don't know, what of your family fought in the Civil War and what they did, right? But that Civil War is a long fucking time ago. This is happening so fast because of we're not teaching things in classrooms like we used to, and this fucking device is raising our kids. And whoever wants to have an agenda online will just put it out there. And it gets believable if that's all you see. And some of these kids, it's hard probably for us to imagine as parents because we have our kids and we're like, well, they don't spend that much time on the phone.
Right.
But some kids really do. If that's all you're ingesting, then that's all you know is abortion is good and the Holocaust never happened. If that's what the algorithm's feeding you, then that is who. I mean, you are only your perception, especially at a younger age, right? You don't have. We don't have any life experience to even come off of, to even base anything off of,
right?
Except for what's in front of you. We've really failed as Gen X were awesome, and then they gave us phones in our teens and 20s, and we just checked the fuck out.
It's funny. I had this debate on a Twitter space the other day. There was a guy talking
these are
about
our kids.
Yeah, he was talking about the decline of IQ, and he was talking a racial component to it, which I'm not an expert on any of that, and I'm not ever gonna bring that into the discussion. However, I brought up the point that I felt that access to cell phones was creating a decline in intelligence. Because instead of doing any sort of critical thought or
remembering a phone number.
Oh, yeah.
Or anything.
Yeah.
It's all right here. I don't have to remember anything. I don't have to anymore. Nothing.
Right.
It's here. And I know everything also. It's a pretty bad combination.
Yeah. So the fact that you don't have to actually seek out any sort of information on your own. You don't, if someone tells you this happened, there's a commercial, I think it was State Farm did the commercial, and there's this woman talking to what appears to be a reporter or whatever. And she's like, yeah, and I met this guy and he's from France, and she's just so excited about it or whatever. And this guy shows up and he's got a fanny pack on. He's poorly dressed. It's just a shitty situation. And he walks up to the camera and he looks at the camera and he goes, bonjour. And he is clearly not French. He's not attractive, like she had said. It's none of this is true. And then they turn around and he goes, and it's don't believe everything you see on the internet. And I'm we need to bring that commercial back. I feel and oftentimes I just look at people and I start saying bonjour, okay. Not enough people have left their state or their country. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I don't expect everyone to, but for those that have, they've visibly, they've witnessed certain things. They've talked to people. I think it's really hard. Jake can attest to this. He's been in a lot of spaces with me. I've gotten in fights with the Holocaust deniers before. My uncle escaped Nazi Germany and then went back and became the CEO of Porsche at Stuttgart in Germany. He's a Jew that escaped and then went back and was running the show. That's a huge fucking deal. And that happened. That's my family. I know that happened. And so when somebody's telling me that it didn't, I'm no, fuck you. Yeah, it did. It's hard to kind of come to terms with that. The total loss of credibility of the mainstream media has led to the questioning of everything. I agree, Jake. I think it's probably one of the worst things that could have possibly ever happened. You created an entire world of people who believe nothing because you've betrayed that level of trust. And so now everything is a conspiracy theory.
But they're not just going to not believe you and stop watching. They go find other avenues, which.
Yeah.
Here we are. Welcome. Yeah. Now we don't believe in the Holocaust.
Right. One of the
Hamas was right.
Has an artificial intelligence buddy built in. How long till every device has one built in? Yeah, the new Samsung 24, which I just picked my 23 up, so I don't have the Secret Ninja Spy on my phone, but I'm sure the software will be in there. I mean, it's just a quick update away. My uncle was a medic in 45th Division in World War II, and Dachau freaked him out. It was of the three, I would say Dachau is probably the most sobering because it had the most still there. Like it still had so much, like the structures were still intact a lot more than Auschwitz. Like it was clearly different. Okay, let me see if I've got anything else real quick. I'm not going to do the Canada stuff. I do think it's a quick clip, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. The Kerry Lake audio leak.
So what's going on? What is? I'm assuming this is our friend.
This is back east. There are very powerful people that want to keep you out.
Oh no, they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So this conversation never happened.
This is crazy though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
Maybe. This never happened. Don't go. Do you ever though? I'll get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
I wouldn't doubt that either. It's today's world, man. If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man. They say the cartel's operating in 50 states right now, like all 50. You know? So
what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you the what. Let's just say there are people calling around saying, "Gosh, no, you can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. Because I got offered to buy out. Don't use it. Because then we lose our ability to get things done in the future."
Here's
more
my
corruption.
Problem. Rather than just say, "Let's work with her. She's a great candidate," because they don't own me, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I said it's about ownership.
It's about control.
I love how she's like eating while she's recording this.
It's about being on the team. I guess that's, you know what I mean?
They want to be on
Where
the
she
team.
got that?
They want you to be on their team.
But
just team. You know?
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
You want me to stay out for 2 years. What? I'll tell you what I can offer you. But I said she can do whatever she wants, talking head, this and that. So the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was, this has to stay between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and to keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America first. This is about the final death blow to Trump. And I don't think that's good for our country.
And you know I love Trump. I love Trump.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
It's not. But at the same time, I'm not even sure Trump can win again. I don't know that he can win again. I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about like control or agenda. It's just about the ability to raise money to win. You know, if you really want to know, all of politics boils down to money, I think. I always believe that. And even on their end, like what makes them the most money?
I know all these consultants don't want their payday to end, and I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm not. If they're going to steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting them do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona,
or
to carry their torch and their voice,
or
or
go away. But you pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
And refill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now. The battle is right now, and we don't have time to pause on this battlefield.
You're not. You can't scratch their back. It's not afraid of you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to offer them. And they're sitting around people that have stuff to offer them.
Look how quickly he changed his tactics.
It's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching club. You're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. I don't scratch people's back. You know, I've been on the outs with a lot of people for a long time because I don't scratch.
Often willing to.
Where are we in 2 years if they steal the election again?
Listen to what you're saying. Why don't we do something about it so that we the people can pick our...
What can we do?
I'm not willing to accept that, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's... Go back and tell them that. I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in their...
I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
No, I know. Look. And
you don't have to tell.
Heather, was that a fucking setup? Like they rigged that?
The conversation?
She got too like, well, I wouldn't do all of that. You know, she was just too like, you go back east and tell them they'll have to... that I'm coming.
So you think he intentionally, like that was all staged, that he didn't actually come to her with a deal or anything like that?
I think he came to her with a deal and they were reading it off a script. She was like, that will hurt the country. I wouldn't do that.
Well, she knew she was being recorded.
Wait, listen. But he would have picked up on that. Is that our government?
I think he finally did towards the end, which is why he shifted his language.
I mean, she was going so like
he was
she sounded speechy.
Yeah. So Tex said I just got an S-23 last month. She's perfect for the Trump administration.
Sure is.
Cartels in Alaska?
Yeah,
Scum of the Earth War Dog says yes, staged.
Right? Cool. Is that for real, right? There's no way that was real. I don't believe that. Do you believe it, Heather? If you do, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I listened to it wrong. I listen to everything that a politician puts out so fucking pessimistic, like, you motherfucker.
Well, it's not. I think that she knew. So she is scripted. She
Sure.
is. But I think that he was serious. Like, like, I think he was really serious about her stepping down for 2 months because why?
Yeah,
Guess who else is going to get a kickback?
He gets
right?
a piece for convincing her. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You convince her to do it. We're going to reward you too.
You're going to be up in your whatever.
And then I think he picks up on the fact that this is getting ready to be a fucking gotcha moment because of
I
how
don't scratch
she was
people's
acting.
back.
Yeah. Because
I'm
of
on the
how
outs
she
with
was-
everybody.
Yeah. She wasn't even entertaining, like not even a hesitant. And he's like, oh, fuck. And you hear it. You hear that instant shift where then he's like, yeah, you don't have anything. You're not going to do anything for them. I'm not going to do anything for that. You know, and it's like, you
Like,
see
what are these
this.
crazy
I mean, it
people
is
even
just-
like? Is this even real life?
Yeah.
What are they even talking about?
go
Jake
back and
says,
tell
are
him
we
I'm
saying we don't think this is how the game is played? No. I do
No,
think
that's
that's
not
how
it.
the game is played. I think that
It could be either one. Either one is very believable. Either scenario.
I think that the Democratic National Committee has put together a nice little package that says, here's what company do you want to work with? And
Hey, Heather,
we'll
did
give
they
you
really-
a really high ranking job in that company.
Did some of the super PACs come together and say, look, this isn't working. So let's
Yeah.
pool our money and let's buy some of these motherfuckers.
I think so. Our candidate is so fucking terrible. Let's find a way to win this
He's
election.
bad. He's bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
What do you mean staged? And then, because there's a little bit of a delay. So we've probably already answered that question. Patriot said the offer was certainly real. Yeah, I think so too. Tech said, I think that's how the game is played nationally or locally. Yeah, it's certainly, if nothing else, that video, let's say that the entire thing was completely fabricated. That in and of itself also showcases the underbelly of this class of individuals that would do something like that, that you would try to pay off your opponent, that you would try to fabricate a video like this
shit's
on
probably
something
been
that's
happening
not
since
real.
the 17. Shit's
Yeah.
been happening since the 1700s, probably. But
Yeah. But now we see it and we have like,
I mean,
yeah.
we sent Ben Franklin over to France for fucking years just to woo-saw them, you know.
Well, I mean, that's how we have the country we have right now. So let's just.
Hey, I'm just saying that, yo, we were built on backwood.
This is how
back
Big
bar.
Mike will replace Joe.
Yeah, no shit. But our whole country was built in back bar fucking deals over some gin and tonic.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Oh, no, you can't.
I love that fucking song so much.
The Hampton? Room 333.
Whoa.
This is a great opportunity to tell us about today's PSA deals. The deal of the day that I was looking at today, actually, Jake, now that you bring it up, there is a combo rifle and a Rock 5.7 pistol, and I think it's on sale for like $7.99 or something. Like, it's a ridiculous, both fully assembled, neither one blem. It's a good deal.
There's gun day.
Do what?
It's gun day. Remember?
Oh yeah.
It's gun day. We got to put together a deal here.
Okay, it is Two Truths and a Lie. For those who are tuning in, new and old, this is the segment of the show where I tell 3 stories. 2 of them are real. 1 of them is written by yours truly. With those 3 stories, you have to pick out, without cheating, this is my mom finger. You do not get to look it up. It's way more fun if you try to just guess. It's way more fun for me when everyone gets it wrong, because then I feel good about myself and really bad about the media. With that being said, story number 1, a yogurt company is offering to pay $10,000 to participants who complete a month-long digital detox with their phone locked in a box. This yogurt company is known for its Icelandic style yogurt and said that its digital detox program will offer $10,000 to participants who are willing to give up their phones for a month. The program was inspired by Dry January. They're accepting applications through January 31st. 10 people will be selected for the digital detox and will have to keep their smartphones secured for 1 month in a lockbox provided by the yogurt company. Story number 2. In a groundbreaking development, a team of scientists at the Global Research Institute for Sustainable Technologies, or GRIST, has announced the discovery of a new, highly efficient source of green energy dubbed Lumina. This energy source is derived from a previously unknown natural process that harnesses the ambient light in the environment, converting it into usable electricity with near zero environmental impact. The discovery, which has been in development for over a decade, was made possible through a combination of advanced nanotechnology and a new understanding of quantum mechanics. The Lumina technology works by capturing photons from both sunlight and artificial light sources using a network of microscopic light-absorbing particles. These particles are capable of converting light into electrical energy at an efficiency rate previously thought impossible.
If that's the one, then you're trying a little too hard.
Story number
nanoparticles.
3. A Florida scientist said a mysterious bass sound reported by residents might be coming from mating fish. Area residents reported hearing the low-pitched sound periodically since 2021, and so far, no concrete answers have been found as to its origins. A senior scientist with the Moat Marine Laboratory and Aquarium said the sound could be coming from black drumfish. He said the fish produce throbbing sounds during their mating season when muscles vibrate against their swim bladders. Those are your 3 stories. Which story is the lie?
The third one, that's definitely the HARP weather machine, is what you're hearing.
Okay, so time out for a
That's
second.
real.
War Dog, 1 story is the lie, 2 of them are true.
Yeah, he's got too many falsehoods. I think 2. I think
Yeah, relax,
I think
Mom.
you learned about ambient light and nanotechnology and quantum physics, and it's number 2.
So you think number 2 is the lie?
Yup.
Okay.
It's the most
Chris
extravagant
thinks number
story.
2. Jake says number 1, the yogurt company offering 10 grand for your phone.
I said
being
halfway
per
through
month.
number 2.
Yeah.
I said halfway through.
Number 2 is what War Dog says. Patriot, do you want to chime in on this?
I'm starting to feel like I might get one right.
Chris, you're never in the studio anymore. Patriot says 1 is fake. No company is going to miss out on advertisement.
Yeah. So they're saying you would have named the Icelandic yogurt company. That's the mistake I made last week when you didn't name the archaeologist. I thought that was red flag, but it wasn't. It was a red herring.
Are you changing your vote? You're staying with 2. Tex says 2. Everybody says 2. Jake and Patriot say 1. The lie is number 2.
That was way well written.
Read that part about how it works again.
I was like, no way. Oh, you guys suck.
Ambient light and quantum mechanics? Holy shit.
I'm
nice
done
try,
with you
Big
guys.
Bang Theory.
I thought for sure like I was gonna that it was gonna sound so good. You guys are gonna be like, there's no fucking way she could come up with that.
That's where I was.
2 sentences in, I'm like,
damn it, I went with 1 because okay, so wait, by the way, okay, in case anybody wants to try to earn 10 grand by putting your phone in a box for a month.
You, by the way.
This company is called Siggy's Dairy, SIGGIS, and it is I'll put this in the chat so you guys can all have this. So here is the link to the article. Rumble, I don't know if it'll push over there yet. I don't think that integration is in place yet. So which I'm really glad I thought about
only
that.
spends 5.5 hours on their phone every day.
Really? That's it?
I'm definitely on my phone more than 5.5 hours.
Oh yeah, I'm really fucking that world up. And I always get those notifications where it's like, did you know that you were on there longer this time than you were last time? Last week or whatever. It's crazy. But I mean, shit, if you can win 10 grand putting your phone in, is it worth it? Like, so I, as a content creator, that would be incredibly detrimental to me from a content perspective, but I'd make 10 grand and I don't make 10 grand creating content. So I could put my phone in a box for a month and be okay with it. And then I would create the content on the backside. Like I would be videoing, like, here's what I did with my time when I was not using my phone. I read 12 books.
Can you still use your company phone?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. The rules are probably listed in the terms and conditions on the site. I haven't gone in and done it, but I think this would be a fun thing. It would be really fun if somebody from here actually did it. That would be very cool. Okay, real quick. Patriot says, LOL. Jake said, I would be lonely without my pocket friends. That's really true. Like the majority of my connection is with people that I've met from like Twitter and things like that. If I didn't get to talk to you guys, man, it'd be a sad fucking day. F, not UK, Europe. Sorry, migraine meds messing with me. That yogurt company will not be around for long. Oh, man. All right, that is the end of our show. To everyone who tuned in live, thank you guys for your participation. Thank you for adding to the conversation. You guys are what makes our show great. To those who are listening to the replay, thank you for taking the time to watch our show. We love you. You should tune in next week. D-Sab something says, for security reasons, I would never leave the phone behind. That's a fair point too. I think
Disabled
actually...
veteran.
I
Nailed
think
it.
what they do, just FYI, I think they actually send the box to you, and it has like probably like a remote timer or something on it. Like so I think you actually get to keep the phone. But anyway, that's going to be the end of our show today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I love you guys. Everybody,
Love you
take
too.
care, and we will see you next week.